Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of the Grunts and Grumbles podcast. I'm Vince.
And I'm Tom.
We, Tom, are doing 30 on 30 today.
It is our 30th episode.
30th episode,
on
yes.
the 30th of October.
Is this
Devil's Night?
It's a Devil's Night. Oh my God! Today I couldn't figure it out.
I know.
So I was sitting at work and I was talking to Mitch, and I'm like, "Is it like the witching night? Witch's night?" And then he's like, "The witching hour." I'm like, "Yeah, that doesn't seem right, man."
Devil's Night.
The Devil's Night. Fuck! I couldn't figure it out.
Were you ever that kid?
What? Who worshipped the devil?
No. Yeah, of course. No, the one that did ransacked and threw eggs at neighbors' houses. And
no.
Toilet paper.
No.
Were you ever a victim of it?
I don't think so. I don't remember ever seeing my house covered in eggs.
You got lucky, I guess. Never really had it.
Did you throw eggs?
No.
As a kid, no.
Are you kidding me? My dad, no.
No, man. Eggs were important in my house.
Yeah, me too. There's nothing wasting food.
Yeah.
If they knew we were up to shit like that, we would never be out of the house. And I was shacked up like a veal as it was growing up. So, yeah, it never happened.
Tom, the tallest, biggest person in his house, was not allowed to leave.
Yeah, like I said, I had more pimp skills when I was 2 years old than I did in high school. But, it happens.
I know.
There's the protective thing.
I mean, the Italian household, and I get it.
And being the firstborn.
I was not that, but I was the opposite, so I was the baby.
Right.
So when you're the baby, according to my brother, I got away with everything, but it's also he was also allowed to stay out later than I was, and
see, that never
I
happened.
had a curfew and he didn't, and it's what the fuck?
That never happened. I had to go to bed at the same time because otherwise it's not fair. Yeah. It's every time. It was.
You know what, parents?
Brutal.
Why didn't you do that in my house? Why did Rob get to do everything he wanted to do?
Yeah, don't worry. I made up for it in my adulthood, but
I'm still making up for it.
Yeah. So Devil's Night. It's so weird because, this whole year has been a fucking write-off.
Well, I know. It's such a shame this weekend.
But doesn't it feel like you're that 19-year-old or the 20-year-old that that all your friends are a year older and they're going to the States to party and you can't yet? That's what it feels this year.
Yeah, it feels. Well, it feels like if you were in the States and they were coming here at that age. I'm 20, I guess, or 21.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My friends never really. It wasn't like that. I don't know. No. I didn't go. I went to. Well, the first time I went to Vegas was my 21st birthday.
Yeah. How crazy was that?
Wild. And so I don't know. It seems like such a weird time to be alive. And it's kind of cool though. Not cool that this has happened to us because this is pretty shit. But It's kind of cool to say that we lived through this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like saying you lived through the Spanish flu or you were involved in a war.
Did you even know that there was a Spanish flu? We never learned it in history until now, this year.
No, I knew about it. I think I knew about it.
I knew there was the Black Plague and shit like that, but
imagine living through that. Wow. So we lived through we didn't nothing like the Black Plague sounds like such an awesome
ring around the rosy
sort of thing. We got a coronavirus.
Yeah.
We got a Mexican beer.
The Chinese virus.
China.
Doesn't come from China.
It's from China.
The Kung Flu.
I love when you say that. Anyway.
I love the Kung Flu.
I don't think I've ever heard that one. That's pretty good.
It was a meme. It was the Office characters.
Oh, yeah.
And it was each one in the character of how they would be. And it was Angela was like, this is coming from the devil. And then all of a sudden it showed Michael laughing and it says Kung Flu.
That's pretty great. Oh, man. No, I didn't see that. So obviously I heard recently that they're advising people to not send out their trick-or-treaters.
Yeah.
And so how I was telling you we were doing our Instagram video live.
Right.
And I bought all this candy.
Yes.
And now then they might not come to trick or treat. And I'm like, I hope to God some parents out there just say fuck it.
Yeah.
Just not for their kids' benefit, but for my fucking benefit, okay?
Because
I need this fucking candy out of my house.
I think too the lesson here, if you can't and if there are no kids, give it to the food bank. Donate it to the food bank. They would need it.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I think that would be.
I'm gonna make a couple care packages, give them to some friends of mine that have kids.
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
Dump it
for sure.
And then you know what really parents should be doing, which I think I just thought of right now for some particular reason, because I was in my head, I'm like, oh, they're all wearing masks anyway when they go trick or treating.
That was.
Why don't they dress up all their kids, doctors and nurses? They're wearing the mask.
I know.
They're wearing the mask.
the identity of what Halloween is about is like it's gone. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, just this year.
I know. Let's hope it gets better. Again, any pandemic and like you said, the Spanish flu, that's a 5-year thing.
I know.
But things are working. Okay.
Yeah.
And like we're living in it right now.
You know what?
Your belief structure can be all it wants to be.
Yeah.
Again, some people believe in religion, some people don't. I like to be on that side that I know where I want to be in my life, and I don't want to be the Grim Reaper, like touching your dead. But I don't want to be the guy that regrets not being able to do anything because
that's fair.
There could be something there. I mean, because there's always something there. Like there was a fatality on the highway today.
Sure.
Really bad one.
On the QEW?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A really bad one.
Yeah.
And I mean, that person's not coming home.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true.
That's not pandemic related.
No, but they'll probably chalk it up as a COVID death.
Yeah,
because that's how.
But it's the same thing. Like
Wow.
if you live a life where you're always going to be worried about what's around the corner or what's over your shoulder.
I see where
the paranoia. Like you can't live with paranoia.
No, I see where you're going with that, but there's also it's like don't not cross the street because you think you're gonna get hit by a car. This falls under a different. I feel like this falls under a different scenario. If it's something that's preventable, I think like you got to think about that.
But if you knew that save was the difference between never seeing a loved one again, because you're not supposed to, because you might kill them, on their perspective, if they knew that this was the last time they could actually see you, do you think they give a fuck if they're going to get a flu?
Care. No, they don't care.
And that's where I'm saying, like, where do you level that scale of morality? Or mortality, if you will.
I don't know.
Right? It's just tough.
It's tough.
You know,
I don't know how to answer that. Okay, let's get off that.
Halloween.
Doom and gloom. We're at fucking Devil's Night. We should be talking about scary movies and.
Okay, so how many have you watched a movie every night so far?
I've watched one most nights.
Okay.
I watched Escape Room recently.
Okay.
Pretty good. I watched Truth or Dare. It was okay.
That sounds like a.
It was kind of.
Is it scary?
You know what? It was kind of. It wasn't like scary. Like you're like, oh my god, like some pop up sort of things. But the whole. Do you know the concept of it?
I know.
I mean, you got the idea of Truth or Dare.
I mean, I know the Madonna movie, Truth or Dare.
There's a one, Madonna.
Oh yeah, way back in the 80s when it was like her Blonde Ambition tour, and it was all she would do Truth or Dare with her dancers behind stage, and
they made a movie.
Yeah, so they're guys kissing. Like back in that time, that was a little controversial.
Way to go, Madonna.
No,
it was weird because it was like a demon who was like a mischief demon that was causing all those things. So whenever like it was your turn and they were asking you Truth or Dare, it was like the demon possessed someone else, had this weird grin sort of thing on their face.
Okay.
The concept was there.
Awesome.
The movie ended shit. It was shitty, but whatever. But it was good.
So you're watching more newer or movies
I'm
you
just
haven't
watching.
seen before?
I'm trying to watch ones I haven't seen before.
Okay.
That's where I'm at right
do
now.
you still have like a go-to classic? And I think you've already said it.
Well, I watch this movie twice a year.
Yes.
Both on Halloween and on Christmas.
Okay.
I watch Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right.
That's
that's the one.
So I'll be watching that on Saturday.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
I also I'll probably pop in to watch like a Halloween, maybe like a Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare on Elm Street or like a Friday the 13th. Like I'll watch like the classics.
Right.
I might watch a one tonight or something too. We'll see.
Do you ever watch like the Charlie Brown?
What, Halloween?
Ones, the cartoon ones, like
no. I thought Charlie Brown just had Christmas.
No, there's the Pumpkin Patch one.
No, not a chance.
No, the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
No,
it's too kiddie for you.
Too kiddie for me. Are you watching that tonight?
I haven't watched those in years. I remember watching all like the old like Claymation Rudolph and shit like that for Christmas. I love them, but like
I saw a funny thing on like Instagram or Facebook today, and it just made me remember this movie. Like I forgot all about it. It was like you remember Ernest Scared Stupid? Did you watch those Ernest movies? Like Ernest Goes to Jail. And like Ernest Scared Stupid.
I honestly say the only one I ever remember watching, and it was only because I was always consistently watching, and I think it was the first one, was Ernest Goes to Camp.
Okay.
And there was a time in the 80s, you may not know this, but like Schwarzenegger did a movie shot purely on video because they were trying to like make the home video access more defined than film.
Okay.
And so Raw Deal was a shot on beta.
Cool.
And it looks like it's like straight from the TV, like it's a video format. Like you see Predator, how polished that is on film, and then something always like as a kid, not knowing what the formats were, like it looked different. It looked like
I've never even heard of that.
And then Raw Deal,
no, I've never heard of it.
It's pretty decent. It's fun if you get a chance to watch it. And then Ernest Goes to Camp was shot on video too, so the same kind of like looked like a TV show more than a film. And so I remember watching that vividly. Yeah. And I don't know if you ever watched Ernest Goes to Camp.
Yeah, I do, but I don't remember.
Right. But then, I guess I grew up, and then it just kind of like it was the same kind of shit over, like Saves Christmas.
Goes to jail. No, but the Ernest Scared Stupid was one of the funniest like Halloween.
That was the Halloween one.
Halloween,
wasn't it? Where he has the evil twin.
No, that was in prison.
See,
Ernest goes to prison. And he had the guy that looked like him, and his voice went from like the Ernest voice to like he had like a deep, suave, sort of I don't know. He was like, or like he had more like a raspy like.
Right.
I couldn't even do the voice. I'm not gonna even attempt it.
Okay.
So that leads me to, I want to talk about like funny horror movies.
Funny horror movies? Okay.
Like funny Halloween movies, funny horror.
Right.
Like did you watch Happy Death Day?
No.
It's actually really good.
Is it?
It's good and it's funny.
Is it new?
A new one came out I think this last year.
Okay.
I don't know. Times are relevant these days. But the first one came out a few years ago and I really enjoyed it.
What about Final Destination? Do you find that's a comedy more than it is?
I don't know. I thought it was good though. The first one I thought was awesome. Really good. I really enjoyed them.
I enjoyed them, but I found like when you watch how crazy those deaths are, you're like, this is amazing. Like you weren't.
Well, now
scared.
because of that movie, every time I drive behind a truck with logs, I'm like, this is it, man. I
gotta jump out of the car now.
I seen this movie. I gotta bail. If I see one log move a little too weirdly, I'm bailing out of this thing.
You can say the same about watching the Griswolds, the Christmas Vacation, and go underneath it.
Just like you're about to go plug something in, you're like,
don't just go underneath the logging truck.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant like if you plug in, you get electrocuted.
Oh man.
What else? I was gonna say something about another movie. Idle Hands. You remember that movie?
Idle Hands. Yeah, that was
funny. Great
soundtrack.
That guy just disappeared, eh?
Yeah. Oh, most
of them back there. But I mean, the only one from that
Jessica
movie.
Alba.
She was in. Oh yeah.
Yeah. See.
Oh yeah.
I met her once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on Love Guru.
Oh yeah.
Walked right by. Just the total like like I say, good morning to everyone, right?
Sure.
So good morning. And it's like I'm coming out of one corner of the trailer. I'm like, good morning. She's like, hi. And I did the double take. I'm like, oh fuck, like that's Jessica Alba.
Risk my career. Just slap that ass as she walked by. No, I'd never.
Yeah, it was so quick, and it was like, but it was cool.
I'd never.
And at that point, I didn't really know that she was in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just knew it was a Michael Myers.
Yeah. Honestly, that movie was shit. But the funniest part about that movie is Mini-Me's office, the coach's office, where they go in. It's like the smallest little fucking office. I thought that was like the funniest part of that movie. It was that was the best.
Oh man, Mike Myers has a gift of any of those movies where you can tell he puts a little bit of what he grew up, his influences, like the Scooby-Doo ending in Wayne's World, and they're doing the whole thing, and they change it up like that, and and the Stan Mikita Donuts is the Tim Hortons. He always has like that little influx of humor that you go, I can relate to that. Like, So I Married an Axe Murderer. Have you seen that one?
Movie? Love it. I watched it again recently, actually.
Tell about the time he shit his pants in Niagara Falls. So good.
So good.
But yeah, another. I mean, when you think horror and Halloween and stuff, like. Mm-hmm. I can get the humor, and I love when movies give me the twist. Like Cabin in the Woods, loved it. Like loved how I didn't know where it was going.
That's the one with Thor, right?
Yeah,
Chris Hemsworth there. That was really good,
right? I didn't know where it was going. Had an awesome twist.
Did not when they were in that like underground bunker thing.
Right.
I was like, whoa.
Right.
Blew my fucking mind, man.
And then Saw, loved the first Saw.
First Saw, so good.
Amazing.
The other ones were good too. Like they got they got progressively like okay. Like they always like, what can we do to make this worse for the audience?
Right.
Like, what device can you come up with that is gonna make the audience at home who's watched the first 6 of these be like, oh,
right,
oh shit.
Right.
What the fuck is that?
And then Hostel, I couldn't really get into because all the time I was watching Hostel,
yeah,
I just thought it was like the darker version of Euro Trip.
Okay.
Because they're in Bratislava.
The first Hostel was fucked up.
You know that there was someone that died of a heart attack in TIFF watching that movie when it premiered. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, they were in the theaters and someone died of a heart attack.
You know that's got to be for real.
Yeah.
Like, there's no evidence of it because they're not talking about it.
I've heard stories.
Because, like, someone probably, like, heard a story from a friend of a friend who stayed in a hostel, and he's like, this guy just started disappearing. I bet you, it's like, they're getting killed somewhere.
You never know. Like,
and then that guy's like, that's a fucking great movie.
I mean, you gotta think.
He's writing it all down.
There was that one movie, too. It was more of a thriller, and it was, I think it was called Uncharted.
Like Taken?
No, Uncharted. No, Donkey Punch.
I don't know.
And it's about girls that go onto this boat with these guys.
Yeah.
And they all partying a little too hard. It starts off in Ibiza, and then they go into uncharted waters, and they have this like sex romp, and of course the guy does the donkey punch and kills her.
Oh fuck.
So now they're like, what the fuck do we do to the corpse? So they're like, we gotta throw her over. No, you don't. No, you don't. And then it ends up becoming like this guy is a killer and trying to kill everyone on the boat.
Oh shit.
Intense,
yeah,
but really, really cool, and it's
isn't there that movie with Jon Favreau and the guy from Entourage? I can't remember.
Jeremy Piven.
Jeremy Piven, and they're like at a bachelor party or something, and they're screwing that girl. They're screwing the girl, the Asian escort in the bathroom.
Judgment Night.
I don't think that's it.
Was it Judgment Night?
And he puts her on the coat hooks by accident. Do you remember?
Fuck. We gotta go IMDb this.
I know. Anyway, I'll look for it. But yeah, do you remember that one? Right, like that was.
I'm not sure, but there were some surprise ones in that. But yeah, I find even Zombieland.
I love that
I was tired of I get the Dawn of the Dead, Return of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead. Loved all those zombie movies, but I feel like the ones that were coming in as the new generation zombies, not Romero necessarily.
Yep.
But always had the same tone, like. Dark, depressing. These things are going to kill you no matter what you're going to do. And then something like Zombieland comes in and it's like total,
just
fun.
Game changer, man.
This is like a video game version of life.
Yep.
And you had someone like the caliber of the actors that they had. And like Emma Stone,
Woody Harrelson,
and even Jesse Eisenberg. And it was just so much fun watching these guys. Even Bill Murray.
Yeah, dude, that part with Bill Murray was so funny.
And
man.
when you watch that movie, and you don't really know what to expect next, and you see the intro. The intro is like For Whom the Bell Tolls, and it's like Metallica, and you just see all this like slow motion, like zombies doing crazy shit.
It's just they really changed the game. I feel like. And did you watch the second one?
I did not because I was afraid that I was going to be disappointed. Really?
No,
okay.
It's worth it.
Okay.
It's totally good.
And they did a series, but I don't know if the series went anywhere too.
They did a Zombieland series?
Yeah, they were talking about starting it, but it wasn't going to be with those guys. It was the same characters, but different story.
No, I didn't know. I didn't even know.
I think it was like when Netflix was just starting up, they were talking about it.
Interesting.
But yeah, it was incredible that something like that, and you're having fun. It's a joyride, and when you're watching the audience or the crowd.
I found it.
What movie was it?
It's called a very bad thing.
Okay, okay, cool.
Okay. A prostitute is killed during a bachelor party, and the attendees turn on each other as the wedding approaches. You know what it came out? It came out in.
And then a wheel of Parmesan got broken.
Oh, this must have been an Italian bachelor party.
Based on some true events.
Oh my god! It came out in 1999.
Wow. Okay.
It got a 6.4 out of 10. Apparently, I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, cool.
From all I remember is that part though.
What about Wild Things? What do you think of that?
It was like softcore porn, wasn't it?
Yeah, but there was a good twist. I love the twist in it.
I don't remember that part of the movie.
But then there's some movies. When you go to the 70s and they were really dark. Forget the movie. They did a remake. Forget what's called.
It's called The Santa Claus?
No. It's a horror movie, but it's based on this girl.
I don't know.
That it's very, very dark, but she takes revenge on it. And like there's a crow pecking at the eyes, and it's just
oh my god, is it They Left Her for Dead or something?
Yeah.
No. Bury me. Spit on Your Grave.
Yes,
I spit on your grave.
But if you watch the 70s version, it's much more darker because back then, I guess, rape wasn't that big of a thing. And I don't want to say
it was
that
still a big of a thing, but I mean,
as far as cinematography was concerned, and it's very chilling, it's very haunting.
Okay.
The camera stays in one spot, so if, as an audience perspective, you feel completely helpless watching this girl like being helpless and seeing what happens. Like you're part of like what she's going through.
I've seen some like there's a lot of still fucked up. Yeah.
Last House on the Left, the original one.
You know, I don't think I've seen that one, to be honest.
How about the first Wes Craven one? Serpent and the Rainbow.
No.
So basically, it's based on the old school voodoo of this guy gets like hit with a puffer dart.
Okay.
And basically is in a coffin, alive, but he's paralyzed.
Oh,
so
shit.
His senses are still there, but he can't react at all.
I think there's a Ryan Reynolds movie like that too, called Buried.
No, Buried, but Buried. He's alive. He's still conscious.
Oh yeah.
Where this guy basically is in stasis, but has total
he feels
cohesion of what's going on.
Shit.
So like a spider's crawling on his face. Oh
my god, that sounds terrible.
And like he hears all the noises, but he can't even like
help. He can't even
he's in a complete puffer state.
Wow,
stasis. It's
just fucking brutal.
Yeah, and it was Wes Craven's first movie, and then Hills Have Eyes, Papa Jupe.
So good. I don't know this Papa Jupe.
No, you don't know that? Well, they did a remake,
I don't know.
but the original one and it has Mercury. They're all the guys in the hills were named after planets.
Cool.
Yeah, that's so crazy. And
well, because the original one was that dude with that weird head.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that was Papa Mercury.
That was Papa Mercury. Gotcha.
Yeah, so
wild, man.
Yeah, so crazy that was my intro to like. So Friday nights.
Yeah,
I had friends like when I was 12 years old. We would come over to their house. They were twins, brother and sister.
Yeah.
So like we would go to the movie store, rent movies, and it would be like the most like we rented this, so it was like Prom Night 2, and then we'd watch it all together. It's like, oh, that was creepy, and then let's get this one, let's get this one. So like it was always like we always get a comedy and a horror movie.
So would you start with the horror and end with the comedy so you can go to sleep?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So
and it was with
like,
popcorn and
I'm
everything.
not sleeping tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And but it was so that was my thing, and then. Having a friend like Sean in high school, he was he still is all about horror movies.
Yeah.
So
I know I showed him those pops last night.
His posters, I know, and then like his poster collection and everything, and it would be like that. And then my ex for 10 years, she was into like stuff. So we were watching some really bizarre horror films, but we were watching them as to we've seen all these. So let's revisit or let's find something beyond this.
Yeah.
And they're fun. Horror movies are fun.
Here's the way I look at it. Is like people are like, oh, I love horror movies, blah blah blah, and some people are like, they don't scare me. I just love them. I'm like, okay, cool.
Right, yeah.
Me, I love to be scared, man. Not in the dark, but I
can see.
I love watching movies, and like even when I'm watching them with Carolyn or whatever, and like something will happen, I'm like, ugh. And I look at her, and she doesn't move, and she looks at me, starts laughing. I'm like, "Oh, that didn't get you?" I'm like, "That totally got me."
Do you need to be? And I'm not trying to like desensitize you out, but do you need to be that cuddler? Like,
no, I'm fine.
You're just fine. Okay.
Yeah. It's just you know what? There was this one movie that really I turned it off. Okay, at this one point, and I can't remember what it was called. It was like a haunting of something.
Okay. Haunting of Hill House.
Something maybe the haunting of Connecticut. Something like one of those.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was a movie, not a TV show.
Okay.
And so this mom was playing a game with her kids, and it was if you clap, and they have to clap wherever they're hiding.
Okay.
Sort of a thing. Like I can't remember the name of it.
Right.
And so she goes to the basement looking for the kids.
Right.
And the door closes behind her, and it's dark, and she lights a match because I don't think there was electricity. So it's one of those older movies.
Right.
And she claps, and then behind her, she's right behind the door. Fucking hands come in the light. Clap behind her. Fucking, she's screaming. The lights. It's dark. I'm like, nope. And I turned it off. I'm like, I can't do it. This is too real for me.
I find some of the gifs that come out. You see the girl like she's teasing. And she goes backwards.
Oh, and then they pop back out, dude. The pop horror. And it really gets.
Or the car in the valley, and you just focus on this car. And you think it's a car commercial.
Oh, do you remember that? Yes, I've seen videos where people like punch the screen.
My dad had a habit when it wasn't even necessarily a horror movie, but something suspenseful would come, and he would like. He'd just jump at you, and you're like,
listen, my brother, still does this to me
Okay.
as adults. Okay. You know, and Rob, Rob knows this when he listens.
Right.
He's like, I'm afraid of the dark because of Rob. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Okay, because he always
used to hide down in the basement in the dark and scare me because I used to go down there, no problem, grab something from the cantina and come back up. Now I can't do that.
And I was like, what are you doing there?
Now I need it. And he's just like, he just pop out. Still to this day, as an adult, I'm a fucking 34-year-old man. Okay, if I know my brother's home, but he's not saying anything when I call out to him, I'm fucking terrified. Okay, and he tries to scare me.
Start clapping.
No, I'm not playing. No, because that movie's too fucking real now, man. That movie's way too real. Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
No, man. That was the only movie I've turned off without like, I'm tired, I'm going to bed.
I remember there was one movie I started watching and I just passed out. It was like a Saturday and I worked like a whole week just dead.
Sure.
And I just remember like the TV wasn't even that loud, but I guess for like to accentuate the horror in this movie, the ambience was turned way up. So even if you had the TV at a minimum setting, it was peaked in the sound. So the screams would always be like over enhanced, and the creaks would be over enhanced.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? Like, I'm trying to sleep. Like, it was almost like it was turned up on purpose. To piss me off because I was having a nap or I was snoring or something. And I knew I was. I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? And I don't even remember what movie it was, but it was like one of the ones. I think it was Famke Janssen, and it was like it ended up being like an alien thing at the end.
Yeah.
And again, like there was that kind of realm of movies, horror movies at that time, where it was all just ambient sound as opposed to like story.
If you watch a horror movie with the volume down, there's nothing scary. There's nothing scary about it. The scores and the screams and the pinpoints of the jumping and stuff like that, it's all working together.
Right.
It's not like, anybody can make a horror movie. Blood and gore and all that stuff, sure. But if you don't have the right music, if you don't have the scary little hype, it's the shadow. Everything is just fantastic.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, and I know it's out there, and I know I've probably seen it. It just, like I said, long week. I want to see a horror movie, like, going back, the very first real essence of a public horror display was the radio program of War of the Worlds that Orson Welles told as if it was a newsreel on the radio. So it was a report going, oh my God, aliens are attacking in New Jersey and this and that.
Yeah.
And they had all the sound effects. And people were actually like pitchforks, flame, like torches,
get ready to
shotguns, like getting out to see like this spectacle. Like it was actually
That's wild,
a thing.
Man.
And me being in the creative field and seeing all these things, and like you're wearing a Shining shirt.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, I love it. And there was that type of horror where it was all psychological, and you go, even Hitchcock was a master at it, where he would take everyday things and like really put a twist, and you're like, oh my God, like
totally.
How would you do a movie in this day and age when people are kind of desensitized because of the shittiness of some of the movies, or it's gone so extreme in one genre?
Mm-hmm.
How would you do a movie for that kind of chill factor that
I don't know, because like nobody listens to the radio anymore. Like, so that's
but not just but like even if you tell a movie like that would go against the shadow play, the eerie music, and then just be so visceral that you'd be like, oh my God, like I can't believe, like I don't think we have a story writer like that anymore.
I watched. Do you watch Korean horror movies at all?
I have, thrillers? Yeah.
Did you watch that one that was like the biggest rage? And I think Parasite. Did you watch that one?
That was a horror movie.
It was like a psychological thriller horror.
Okay, no, I didn't know that. The one that won the Oscar.
The one, it's not like a.
Okay.
It's a horror. It's a horror. I don't know if you call it horror. It's like thriller slash. It's hard to explain.
Right.
And it's just like it's fucked up, man.
Right.
And you're like, oh, that's fucked up. That could happen.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that like it could happen.
Did you ever watch Cannibal Holocaust?
No.
Did you ever watch Blair Witch?
Yes.
So I remember when Blair Witch came out.
Yo, Blair, I hate fucking shaky cameras.
So that Blair Witch, I remember the whole promo and everything. I'm like, oh my God, this is the most real thing I've ever seen. And this is going back to that thing where it feels real.
It was a great idea.
Right. It feels real. Like it feels like a bunch of kids.
It cost them what?
Nothing. Dog shit.
$800,000 to $1 million to make that movie.
Even less, I thought. I think it was more towards promo of it than it was actually.
Okay, so let's say it cost them like $500,000 to make that minimum.
Yeah.
And no matter what it's going to cost it.
Right.
That movie made so much fucking money.
Oh, I know.
Because there was nothing like it.
But it was.
before.
But that's the thing. It was just all promo.
Yeah.
These kids went missing, and they made it like that's when the birth of the internet at the same time too.
Sure.
So everything was like the way they networked or marketed it. It was like, oh my god, these kids are all disappearing.
Yeah.
And what you saw is like they weren't household names. You didn't know who these actors are.
No, you still don't know who they are.
I still don't know who they are.
Yeah, they're gonzo.
Right. So they kind of made it look like a student film that just went dark. And then, years later, I'm seeing Eli Roth, and he's wearing a shirt that says Cannibal Holocaust. Like, what's that?
Okay.
So now I'm finding that movie. And that's from 1974. It's an Italian director. Have you ever watched that?
No, I've never heard of it.
So, watch it, and I will give you a synopsis.
Okay, I'll write it down.
This is going to be NC-17. This is going to be rated R, but I'm going to be as tone deaf as I can with it.
Cannibal Holocaust?
Holocaust. So basically, it starts off as a film crew goes to the Amazon and finds.
Oh, I think they just made a new one.
They might have, but it's still, trust me.
I don't think it's called Cannibal Holocaust, but I think I seen one recently about like these people go to the. I don't think it was a film crew. I think it was a bunch of students or something. I can't remember, but it was something similar.
Chernobyl, I think.
No.
Okay. No. Anyway. Okay.
That's not the Amazon.
Okay. Let's say they get. Well, so they go to the Amazon. They find this tribe that's never seen civilization before.
I think that's
So this guy becomes a megalomaniac. Shows him a lighter, and fire comes from his hand, so he's a god. So he gets worshipped. Next thing you know, they go missing. So
who? Everybody?
The film crew goes missing.
Okay.
So they bring in another film crew to find the original film crew, and they go, "This is the footage we ended up getting, but that was it." So he's making friends with them and this and that, but now we can't find them. So they fly this new crew out to the Amazon.
Yeah.
And now they're finding like film reels hanging out of the trees and everything else. So now they're piecing it together, and they realize he became such a megalomaniac that he was causing all these. Like they weren't exciting enough, so he was causing all these things to do for this tribe to do things because he was becoming a god, and basically he gets beheaded. But what made it more chilling is that there's real deaths in it, and it has to do with animals.
Yeah.
So they're like taking the shell out of a turtle.
Whoa.
They're cutting the face off this rat and a monkey that's alive.
Jesus.
There's no prosthetics. And then when they're doing it to the humans, you can't really tell what's real or what's not because you've seen the real thing. Very visceral, and for what it is, I mean, you see the open, like the shirt that Eli Roth is saying is a girl being impaled with a stick coming out of her mouth.
Wow,
right?
That's wild.
And you see that scene in the movie. It's like it's very chilling. You want a horror movie? That's the horror movie to watch.
There's August Underground. You ever hear that one?
No.
Oh yeah, that's another one. There's some ones that are like you should never.
So this director
ever watch.
So this director then,
if you have a weak stomach,
was put on trial for murder. For the movie.
Get out of here.
They were like, because like I said, you cannot distinguish. There's no way. I don't care how many movies you've seen.
So they're assuming this guy's actually killing somebody.
Right.
Do you think he did it?
That's the thing. So he went on trial. His defense was he brought everyone into the courthouse. Go, no, they're still here.
Yeah.
Right. But
this is the guy.
Yeah.
He's alive.
Yeah. And then
how could they bring him into a jail without looking for those people first?
Because they thought maybe he did kill like a
Amazon
tribe. I know, right? At 74, like it might have been real. Like
I know, but like, what about the people like the video people who got killed? Like bring that, like
I know. Well, that's
the police.
He brought the whole. Cast
I know, but
crew,
police go to their door first and be like, "Hey, are you live?"
Yeah, again, it's back in the time of Italy.
You don't just bring them straight to the witch trial and we're gonna fucking burn you, man.
They were convinced.
This wasn't Salem,
but they were convinced that it was happening. And
it's like that's what happened with the witches. And I went to Salem. I went to Boston. Cool. Remember, I went to visit my friend in Boston.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so I went to Salem for a day.
Right.
And I went to like a couple of museums and stuff like that. They all told like the same stories with a similar twist.
Right.
And it was teenage girls who were bored. Started a fucking witch thing, saying they were
coming.
They were saying that they were possessed and they would just point out and be like, "It's her."
Time
witch.
Before TikTok,
Witch. I know. Imagine TikTok could have saved a whole fucking bunch of non-witches.
I find women are the worst to themselves than we would ever be to women. Right?
I'm not gonna answer that.
You're not gonna agree or disagree.
I'm gonna stay
just stay neutral. But Cannibal Holocaust. Please watch that. And that's what I mean when I watched that.
I've watched some messed up.
But then when I watched that, then I realized Blair Witch was a total
what,
like ripoff of what?
Well, no, because
Cannibal Holocaust was.
Well, they weren't in the Amazon. They were just in the
No, but still that premise
and,
that they went missing and here's the film.
Yeah,
footage.
but then it was yeah, okay,
right.
similar, but
yeah.
not like a. I mean, listen, everything is similar to something.
Right, of
know?
course.
So, I mean, I don't think they did anything like wrong.
No.
Because they had a great idea with a
right.
Video camera and like 3 people in the woods.
Yeah.
But I tell you one thing though, if that was me in the woods at night getting fucking chased by some I would just curl into a.
Oh, the fact that the guy's just standing in the corner in the basement, and then also you just.
Yeah,
and that bothered me too because there was so much premise of something, and then just screaming, running noses.
Yeah.
And
I know.
It's like,
and the face is like, and the camera's like right in their face. And
I'll
like,
show you panting, honey.
I can't see. I don't know where he is. I haven't seen them in 3 days. No, yeah. I would just curl into a ball and die. Danny told me about this game. Danny told me
video game?
Yeah, it's like one of these ones like these people are playing on Twitch or whatever.
Right.
It's called Plasma. Oh my god.
Did he bring it up on the last episode?
No, but it was we were talking about. He might have. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, so it's like you're a ghost hunter.
Yeah, he was. You did.
But did we mention on the episode? Or we were talking about it after the episode.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Anyway,
sorry, guys.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
It's been a long week.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, so I watched a couple like videos of it.
Right.
And you got like this flashlight that's just like constantly pulsating, and like you're trying to like hunt ghosts or whatever. And I was scared watching the fucking video. And then Danny's like, "Oh yeah, and if the ghost kills you, like he just like kills you, whatever, and then you have to start over and you lose all your stuff." And I'm like, dude, I would fucking play this game. First of all, it's PC, and you know I can never play it,
right?
Because I'll never get a PC.
Right.
And
but the colors,
and I was like, yo, if I did a Twitch, let's say I joined Twitch and I did this whole thing like he was talking about,
right?
And that was the game I was playing. The people who would be watching my video are not even watching the game, or just like laughing at me, terrified. Terrified.
You would need like a camera like that's hooked to your hat so they can see you.
And have I'll have the lights off all around me. Yeah. And it'll just be like the white light from the monitor on my face. I'm just like, and my nose is running. I'm like, this is like Blair Witch for me playing a video game.
Oh my god,
dude! That's like, to me, that game is like an adult version of Luigi's Mansion, and I'll play Luigi's Mansion.
I don't know if I've ever played that game.
So it's like you're a ghost hunter. Luigi's the ghost hunter. You're trying to like get all the ghosts out of the mansions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the game I'll play because I'm like, oh, it's Luigi, Ghostbusters. Right? I'll totally play those ones. Yeah. This Plasma Hunter, whatever the hell it's called. But I was just like, there's no way I could play this game. I'd be terrified.
What was your first horror movie? What was the first one that you were
You know what? I don't know. All I know is the one that scared me was 100% The Exorcist. Okay. Was the biggest scare for me. Her coming down the stairs, her neck twisting. Yeah.
But that wasn't necessarily your first movie?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Who knows?
What about like, for me, like, it's just really weird because, I grew up in the cusp of like the end of the 70s. So like, my perception as a kid is like seeing things. I couldn't go into a record store like for years. Because of Kiss, because of like Gene Simmons, seeing the makeup would freak me the fuck out. And then,
apparently, it worked on 5,000 women or something.
And then,
whatever the number is.
And then, then 83.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson's Thriller comes out, and the whole werewolf thing.
Yeah, that was scary. That transition there was scary. And I wasn't born yet, right?
Right. And
but when I watched that video later in life, it was like,
I don't think I can still watch that scene.
Yeah.
I still
it's great considering what year that came out in that video. It was an amazing video.
But it's John Landis who did the American Werewolf American Werewolf in London.
In London, yeah.
In like that same effect. It's the same thing. And I love American Werewolf in London.
Great movie.
Oh, just the transition. I can watch that.
Yeah.
I can't watch Michael Jackson.
You can't watch Thriller. Maybe it's Michael Jackson that scares you. That's
maybe it's just the age. I don't know, but yeah,
I don't know. I just love the old way of prosthetics.
Yes,
and how the transitions happen. Like, don't get me like, I love VFX too, and how far we've gone from then to now.
Right.
Of how we can do things.
Yes.
Like the transitioning between like like human to werewolf.
Right.
Like on Hemlock Grove, I thought that was so good, man. Did you watch that show?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was. Yeah, that's right.
That was the first Netflix kind of pilot.
Oh, nice.
For the original content.
I love that show. I watched all of it front to back.
I thought it was so very slow, and then it got really good.
And then it got weird.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
They plateaued at werewolves, and then they had to have something.
Oops.
Yeah. They're werewolves. No, they didn't plateau, but I loved it. I thought it was really good.
Cool.
I just like you go and watch like vampire movies from back in the day, like Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah,
let's go.
Oh,
so
my
good.
favorite movie. I watched that in the theater. I want to say 8 times.
Wow.
And when it came out, again, it comes out in rental form first on VHS before you could buy it on home version.
Of course.
I paid over $100 to get the VHS.
Nice.
I have the poster. I have the screenplay.
Nice.
And the soundtrack.
It's such a good movie.
I love that movie.
And everything that happened in that movie was all prosthetics.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was all Tom
Savini.
Savini. And
but
he's so good. Like he was like the original, not the original, but
he was one of the first.
He was one of the
Romero. He was Romero's
He
guys.
was one of the first guys to make it not popular, but he was like the guys who he was part of that big group that made the prosthetics and did all those horror movies. And you're like, wow, this is some fucking awesome shit, man.
From Dusk Till Dawn, the thing is, it's 2 different movies in one. Because you have the gangster movie where they're just trying to get to Mexico.
Sure, because they're on the run.
Right.
And first of all, you never saw that coming.
Right.
I mean, like, obviously, if they didn't give you premises in a movie, if they just gave you, like, hey, slight blood, if they said blood and gore and shooting, stuff like that. And they didn't do the trailer.
Yeah.
And you're like, movie, Dusk Till Dawn. George Clooney.
Best role ever.
Yeah. And Quentin Tarantino.
Harvey Keitel.
Selma Hayek.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, this is going to be,
Danny Trejo.
this is going to be some wicked ass, gangster movie, run from the cops sort of scenario.
Yeah.
Then they get to this bar in Mexico and you're like, oh man, what are they going to get chased by the Mexican police or something now? Like, what the hell?
And now they made it. Yeah.
Whoomp. Nighttime, vampire bar. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
And then the ending with the big temple in the background. Like, it's just like.
So good, man.
I didn't watch the sequels because I knew
I wouldn't. I didn't either. Did you watch the TV show?
No.
I did. It's not that I couldn't. I just I'm like, why? I watched the best one.
Exactly.
The best one was obviously the movie.
I can go line for line from even like the convenience store.
Really? Yeah. Good movie.
Yeah.
All in all, I'd watch. I mean, you know what? Let me write it down. I might watch it again.
You know what? But yeah, so say you didn't know. Say someone never watched From Dusk Till Dawn, right? And you go, I want to watch this movie. You don't give them the premise. It blows your mind every time. You're like,
but I mean, the thing is, though, if you go to watch it now, you're gonna click on what, like it's probably on Netflix or one of those streaming.
And it will
services.
tell you.
So there's no way that you can just be like, just hit play.
Well, then I would do it. You watch it.
You'd have to have somebody. You'd have to like, hey, just close your eyes for a second.
Yeah.
What are we watching? It's the movie. George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. And Tarantino wrote it.
He didn't direct it though.
No, Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. Great.
So
good,
man. Right?
The fucking when Paul Savini had that fucking gun on his belt. And it's just
Sex
like
machine,
flopped down.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, what the fuck is going on?
There's sometimes when I'm just like in my own thoughts, I will recount that movie.
Yeah, it is so good. Man.
Right?
Such a surprisingly.
I said, plant yourself. Plants don't talk, don't move.
Yeah.
And if you ever try to run, I've got 6 little friends that can all run faster than you.
So good.
That's like even the tattoo from the neck to the sleeve.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So
love
good,
that movie, right? And that to me isn't.
I think if I ever met George Clooney, I think that's what I would talk to him about.
Sign my book, sign my poster.
I wouldn't talk to him about
Batman
or Oceans. I would never talk to him about Batman. I would never talk to him about like any of the Oceans movies.
No,
any of those other movies he's did. I'd be like, dude, Dusk Till Dawn. Are you fucking kidding me?
I know.
Like you plateaued me right there. Like that was your best fucking movie.
Yeah, you could have like just walked off the face of it.
You could have been like,
that's it. I'm done. Okay.
I'd be like, yeah, you did it, dude.
And it's just so crazy because you never see him again in any other like Tarantino type movie or even Robert Rodriguez at that time.
Yeah.
Like,
well, because he went a different direction with his career. He went for that.
I know.
Listen, you don't become like a superstar, a A-list celebrity by just doing horror movies.
No, I know. No, I'm not saying no, but like Tarantino likes to keep his actors close and likes to put references from other characters in.
True, but I think that because he just wrote that one and didn't direct it, I think mostly he keeps his people with him when he's directing and writing.
So going back to Savini.
Or maybe just they don't fucking like each other. Who fucking knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So going back to Savini, back in the high school days, there were books based on like Fangoria magazine and stuff like that too. Yeah. So there was a book, and it was all on Tom Savini's workshop.
Yeah, because he's got a school. He didn't even. It was like
Stan Winston did it too. Like a lot of them had them.
Mm-hmm.
So they showed the rig in the original Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
So you remember when the helicopter lands and it takes one of the zombies' heads off?
Yes.
Like yeah. They showed how they did that rig.
Nice.
And you're going, my God.
Yeah.
Like it was all like hydraulics hooked in behind the the cases, behind the the blocks, the helicopter lands, and it just like as soon as the rotors get here, it just pops the head off and the guy drops, and it's all squibbed. So he's like all wired from the back and everything. Unbelievable. And then they showed like how the spear comes out of Kevin Bacon's throat in Friday the 13th part 2. Sorry guys, I know.
Well, listen, it's hard to remember. There's so many of them. It's hard to remember who.
Feldman was in 3. I know that, but yeah, it might have been the first one too that Kevin Bacon was in.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how a lot of you finish your Tom Savini part, and then we'll go to what I was going to say.
Again, when you watch those, and I think that's what gives you the chill when you see shit that you really shouldn't watch.
And you're like, how the hell did they do that? And you just assume they killed somebody.
And you can watch it over and over again, and now that you know how it's done, it still kind of gives you that shock factor.
Oh yeah.
But you go, that's so cool, right?
Super cool.
And then I don't know, again, I'm the metalhead. I watched Slayer's the Repentless Trilogy, and it starts off actually the director of the Repentless Trilogy, and it's the last concert that they did at the LA Forum, their last show ever, and there's a 12-minute 3-part movie before the concert, and the director of the whole thing was the camera cinematographer for Shazam. So I became friends with him for a bit, right?
Nice.
And I follow him on Instagram. Oh my God, you want to see something chilling? Like it's not even horror, but like it's like prison like stabbings and shit. And you see everything. You're like,
how the fuck are they doing this?
I was like creeped up by going, oh my God, I shouldn't be watching this. Like I've never seen something so visceral. But it comes from that background of watching all these other horror movies and taking it to that next level. And you're going, oh my God, like I'm watching someone get shanked.
I know.
And it was so real looking, like, okay, like, you see the guts hanging out and shit like that too. I mean, between war movies and horror movies, there's a fine line between that squib and what's real, what's not. And I'm just trying to think, like, a lot of the chill factor what I find in horror movies, I'm laughing more than I am really taking it seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like there's more times when you go, whatever. Oh, Jason's in the corner. Ha ha ha. You can laugh it off. Or, like when you watch a scary movie.
Of course.
And like the brothers never was going to make it out, right? And you're always watching and laugh. And you kind of put that in your head. But when you watch something that's kind of like in that vein of like not expecting it, you're going, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think it's more I think to me it's more cringeworthy to watch a war movie than a actual horror movie because it's real.
Yeah.
That shit really happened in wars. Right. In horror movies, you're like, okay, you know what? 100% there's real serial killers. And there's real murderers and et cetera, et cetera. 100%.
Right.
But in the war, like people, you didn't even, okay, I mean, this is a bad example now. I'm going off like a weird thing, but like a lot more people have died in war.
Right.
And like, I don't want to say brutally because I don't want to take away from the fact that there's people who've been killed by serial killers. But these guys were fighting for a country,
right? And
they were just like, I wish wars were fought with swords again. I think in my mind,
right?
Because
like New York style,
like
guns,
like samurai.
Guns. Good boy.
Yeah. Like I want samurai style.
Yeah, okay.
I want the days of the samurai swords fighting people. You had to be skilled, like the Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings fights. Like I loved all that kind of shit. With a gun, any fucking idiot can point a gun and just spray.
I know.
Because now it's not like a gun where you got one shot. Reload the musket, whatever thing. Shoot again, reload. No, man. You clip, and you can just do this.
Down,
You can just fucking do this. And now there's those fucking giant gun like Gatling guns and all that kind of shit. Like I don't know.
I get it.
Where you can just spray for fucking 5 minutes, man.
Yeah, clear a room.
Yeah, you clear a room.
Yeah.
There's no honor in guns.
Right. No.
Not that there's honor in killing somebody.
I know where you're coming from.
Anyway.
But man.
But like horror movies, like people who are like real serial killers, Ted Bundy and all those guys, John
and
Wayne
Ed
Gacy,
Gein.
all those Ed Gein, number one.
You read that now after I told you that, eh?
Not yet.
Do you have a Leatherface tattoo?
I do, but it's on my ribs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, that's another movie that people because it's so old, like it's kind of like, and I know they
I watched all the new ones. The new ones are pretty good too.
That original, just the making of it, like that house was actually like an oven. It was over 150 degrees in there.
Jesus.
And, you know, everyone was kind of like dying of dehydration. No one really had any like kind of script or anything. It was just like a free for all. And people were going stir crazy because of the heat now.
Sure.
And a lot of the screams were just like, that was all she had.
Yeah.
And that's just creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy.
And I remember watching the second one and going, it felt like a different movie. It felt like I knew it was all the same characters.
Well, I mean,
but
it goes different. It goes like a director really can bring a movie to a certain difference. Like there's the huge difference between two directors.
Right.
You watch if you watch a Rob Zombie movie.
Yes.
A Wes Craven movie.
And the Carpenter movie.
A John Carpenter movie.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's Vampires. So good.
Yeah.
If you watch 3 different movies from those guys, they're never going to be the same.
No.
Never.
No.
So like Halloween, Rob Zombie directed for
Right.
you. I can't, and the guy who's directing the like Halloween Kills and the other one that just passed too. I can't.
It wasn't Danny McBride, was it?
He wrote them.
Yeah.
I don't remember who directed them, and it's anyway.
Yeah.
They're very different. Not a lot of people like the Rob Zombie ones.
I love the Rob Zombie ones.
I thought they were good. I didn't think they were the best ones.
I
love Rob Zombie movies outside of something like he don't write a movie that's already been done. Like I love 31. Did you watch that one?
Yeah.
House of 1,000 Corpses was amazing. Salem was okay.
Yeah.
What was before 31? He just did
Three from
Hell. I thought that was so good.
I never watched that one. I watched
3 from Hell was House of 1,000 Corpses, Devil's Rejects.
You love the
3
Rejects.
From Hell. 3
Rejects
from
was
Hell.
good.
So good.
The most chilling scene in that movie, in that was house actually.
In House of 1,000 Corpses?
Yeah, was the cop, and he just got the gun to his head.
Yeah. Oh, outside the house.
Yeah, and you just see the pull away.
So good.
And it's like a 30-second.
Oh,
and
doesn't he come out wearing his daughter's skin?
I'm not sure, but it's just that whole anticipation that this guy knows he's gonna die.
Yeah.
And like, is the trigger gonna go? And then the camera just pulls away, and you know maybe he's gonna let him live, and all of a sudden,
bam.
But like that slow chill, the anticipation of death is always worse than death itself.
Totally, man.
Right? And like that is the perfect depiction in that movie that just creeps me the fuck out, because I'd be like, just kill me, motherfucker. Just get it over. Like I'd be doing stuff like I'd be like, just do it, right? Like, I don't know.
It's funny too. I was going to mention earlier is that how many A-list celebrities now who are A-listers started off in horror movies.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp was in
Nightmare. Yeah,
he got sucked into the bed.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody who's listening has remembered this. In the movie, I think it was 1 or 2.
It was the first one.
First one for sure.
Yeah, it was.
So he's lying in bed, and then all of a sudden he just
boyfriend.
gets sucked down into the bed, and then just a fucking rush of blood just came flowing out of it.
Yeah,
amazing. Just like a crazy amount of blood.
Yeah.
So him, Kevin Bacon,
Corey Feldman,
Jennifer Aniston, Leprechaun. She was in that.
Jamie
Lee Curtis, Halloween. There's so many. And so like when you watch these new horror movies and you see these people and you're like, automatically when you think of horror movie, you think, you know what, it's probably going to be somebody you never heard of and you never going to see them again.
But it will turn into something.
But listen, look what happened, man.
I know. Even Dwight, he's in House of 1,000 Corpses. He's the fish guy at the end.
Oh, yeah?
Return of the Fish. That's Dwight.
No, I didn't know that.
See?
Oh, shit.
Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
And he's the same. It looks the same because he got the glasses. And
And
it's just Dwight as a fish.
It just goes to show, like, don't, if you're an actor and you want to be in an A-lister and you're like, there's no way I'm going to do a horror movie. Like, I mean,
I think there's some fun into it, though. Like, there is that
I love
level
horror
of,
movies.
like, just, like, I want to see how this turns out, you know? And I remember, like, I worked on Silent Hill, the first one.
Yeah.
And seeing it come to life and then seeing the churches and stuff, what they're doing. And Silent Hill is a very dark story.
Very dark.
You know that game? Do you ever play it?
Oh, yeah. Scares the shit
out of me. So it's about purgatory. Like, you've done something wrong in your life.
Yeah.
And then it comes to haunt you. And you're dead. You don't realize you're dead until the end.
Spoiler alert.
And the stories always change. And I just love the fact that, like, the way they did the shadows and the nurses in the first one, you're like, oh, my God. And then the pyramid head at the end, you're like, this is amazing.
I was driving down to the Hearn one day for work early morning.
Right.
And it was foggy as hell down there.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is some Silent Hill shit, man.
Yeah.
I was driving into it. I'm like, this is
is how I go.
This is how I go. Fucking A, man. This is how I go. I knew all along. I knew it.
They did it. They built the mountain in a sugar shack in Oshawa. Unfortunately, the place burnt down. But this mountain was amazing. It had the road and everything, and I'm just like,
Sugar Shack.
this is so yeah. This is so
my 5-pound Twizzlers is a Sugar Shack.
so it's so amazing how it all came together, and I was a part of it to see it, and yeah, I mean, I've been on Wrong Turn. I worked on Wrong Turn.
Oh, did
whole
you?
set, yeah,
sweet.
And I met,
is it Jennifer Lopez?
No,
who is it? Elijah Dooku.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and yeah.
I don't know why I thought Jennifer Lopez. Wasn't she in some weird movie?
Alicia Dushku. She was amazing.
Yeah, nice.
And
I've never worked on a horror movie. I've never worked on a horror project. I've never done anything scary, which blows my fucking mind because like you think I would.
Yeah, because Friday the 13th Jason X was shot here.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's
okay. Pass.
What was Dracula 2000 was shot here.
Yeah, but I think that was before I was in the film industry.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You too?
Really? Isn't that weird?
Are you sure?
Is that weird?
I thought you were around from black and white. We had this whole conversation.
I've worked with some people, but it's
well, the new Rocky Horror Picture Show was filmed here.
Yeah. Do you think
did it even come out?
Yeah, it did. It was on Fox, but it was again so cut, not to the original. I think it disappointed a lot of fans.
I didn't see it.
Did you ever watch that?
The original?
Yeah,
loved it.
Here's
the thing.
I hate
because I love horror movies.
Okay.
And I do. Like, this is no secret. Like, I'm clearly covered.
Yeah, of course.
But I also like musicals. So I'm all over the place, baby.
But hey, that's good. That's why we get along together.
Just like Shrek.
Hey, Wu-Tang,
I've got onions.
Slayer, right?
I've got layers like onions. I don't know. I'm all over the place. So I love my horror, and this is my month, and I've been watching horror movies all the time. But if I fall into a horror musical, I'm gonna watch it.
I think I was too young when I first watched it.
Oh, watch it again, man.
And
don't watch the remake.
I just hate that fucking song.
Which one?
Time Warp. Fuck off.
Oh, let's do it, man.
Just so loud.
Let's do that Time Warp.
I think it's just that high pitched girl squealing. You're like, shut the fuck up.
If you get through that, it's a great movie.
Like, I hate Meatloaf.
Oh, I love Meatloaf, man.
I hate it. It's bad.
Fight Club Meatloaf, though.
Yeah, bitch tits Meatloaf.
Bitch tits Meatloaf.
But I just can't stand his music. I do anything for love. I won't do that. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. No one's hitting you up for that shit.
I might watch Jennifer's Body again. Did you watch that one?
I want to say I have.
It's what's her name there?
Oh yeah, where it's all like she's out of control.
Yeah, and it's what's that girl from Transformers? Why can't I remember? Megan Fox.
Yeah.
And Chloe
Savini or no?
No. Shit.
Not Amanda Seyfried.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, her. Wait. yes. Because I get those two mixed up.
And that was the other movie that's with Amanda Seyfried. Like you're just like, oh yeah, and that's a makeup session.
I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, that's the one. I think you must have seen it.
Maybe I don't know.
This was good.
Okay. There. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's funny.
Ghostbusters.
Love it. Did you watch the remake?
Yeah. Unfortunately, in the theater.
In the theater. Oh no! Wait till it came out. I thought it was okay. It was fine.
Put it this way. It had some really strong promise.
Sure. Great cast.
And then when
great cast.
It couldn't decide whether it was going to be a homage piece or something on their own. Yeah. And that's where it fell flat. When you see the beginning of the house and it's a museum and things are going to happen, you're like, okay, this is going to become something. Yeah. And I see that it's going to be directed in the house. Then they never talk about the house ever again.
Yeah, what happened to it?
And then all of a sudden, it's like, we've waited so long for a sequel. But the guys can't commit to it. Which I get, and I understand that. And all of a sudden, the guys are in it. So it's like, why the fuck did you do it in it?
One of them is dead.
I know, but still, everyone else was still in. So why the fuck did you do it?
Should have made one of them a ghost, the dead one. Should have taken some old film and threw him in there.
I'm excited to kind of see the new one.
Yeah, the one with Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd and the kids.
Yeah.
And I think they do tie it together.
Was it supposed to come out this year or is it 2021? It was
supposed to come out summer, July 2020.
It's fucking COVID, man.
I know. Fuck. And anyway. There's again, like Gremlins. Would you call Gremlins a Christmas movie or a horror movie?
A horror movie, I guess.
Did I tell you this? I don't know. Again, we're crossing now 30 episodes in, but the original script, the original premise for Gremlins was that Gizmo was the only antagonist.
Oh.
He was the only one that they didn't follow the rules on, so they throw water on him I don't think he multiplied, but he goes bigger in the original script. And then they feed him after midnight, and he becomes Stripe.
Oh,
and then
so he swaps.
terrorizes everything, and it's supposed to be ultra violent. Like the original script, if you can get it, and I know they sell it at some of the cons.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like the B film, like the Monster Ate My Neighborhood or type of thing,
yeah,
the 50-foot thing.
Sure.
And so it's supposed to be this thing that runs amok that like kills everybody. And
cool.
so the lesson is you didn't follow the rules, and look what happened.
Yeah. Story of my life.
So Spielberg gets the script and goes, well, we can kind of turn this thing and market it because it's cute.
Yeah.
And then went the other way with it. And like, I mean, the second one was fucking brilliant.
So good.
Right?
The first one was really good too.
I
man.
love the first one.
It was so good.
It's dark. Like when you hear about like, Phoebe Cates' family, like father hung himself and all this other shit, and the dog's like hanging from a string, like it's just very dark.
It's you know what, you see the the poster for it, and you see Gizmo, and it's like, don't feed him after midnight, and you're like, there's a little bit like, don't pour water on him. You're like, oh, well, what could this be? Like,
no bright lights,
and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, and you're like, wow.
I saw that in the theater.
Did you?
And I mean, some of the things, like, you laugh at it, but like, they're throwing the one in, like the one's chasing the mother with a knife, throws in the microwave, turns it on, the thing blows up, and like,
so good, man.
So fucked. Like, and I think the laughs at that, just running amok and doing all these crazy things. So true,
man.
Like,
it's a wild ride, man.
You know who the voice for Gizmo is?
No.
Take a guess. Like, who would you think?
I couldn't even.
You know the person. This is why I'm asking, and it's Canadian.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I couldn't even fathom it.
Howie Mandel.
Get out of here.
I'm telling you.
I guess so, man. Life with Bobby. I guess Bobby's World.
Gizmo and Baby Scooter and the Muppet Babies.
Get out of here.
I'm telling you, he did the same voice for 3 different characters.
That's pretty impressive, actually. I'm pretty impressed from him.
Yeah.
He impressed me, I guess.
You know what? He has some talent. And
yeah, he's got some talent.
Yeah,
I'll give him
comedian. And,
he's a comedian.
He does shit. Did you ever work with? Do you have any family line? Because he did some shows here, like
no, nobody I know work with him. No, unfortunately not.
So what kind of is there a movie that you have? I mean, you're making a list now that you haven't seen.
No, and ones I want to watch again. Yeah.
Do you ever go on like the Rotten Tomato, like the scariest movies or the worst horror movies?
No, I don't really read reviews. I mean,
but to do the list of something. Okay, I haven't seen this.
Oh, like the top 10.
Yeah, top 10
movies.
Worst movies.
Sometimes I do that. Yeah, I'll do that sometimes, but not often. I'll just go and I'll go through the list of like scary movies on Netflix, and I'll be like,
right, okay.
No, I'll read the premise. I'm like, no. Okay.
Teeth? Did you ever see Teeth?
Not yet. No, because I just can't see how that could be a good movie. Right? Like the idea of it, you're like, wow, that's pretty fucked up.
That's an Italian folklore.
Right there. Yeah, but then I'm like, where can they go with this? Right. So I didn't watch.
What about Sharknadoes or anything like that?
I've seen a Sharknado.
Okay.
I just think it's stupid.
Arachnophobia, is that a scary movie? Is that
yes? And I went to go see in the theaters with my 2 buddies in elementary school or in high school. I can't remember where we watched it. They're like, "Hey, let's watch 8-Legged Freaks," and I'm like, "Let's do it." And then I was there, and I'm like, holding on to my seat. I'm like, why the fuck did I say yes to this?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What was the most recent Romero film with Dennis Hopper? Land of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead. No, Land of the Dead.
Land of the Dead.
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater with my friends in Burlington, and we're watching. We take it as that. I was going, it was all right. It wasn't. Sure. It was an added one. Again, once you get so much into that genre, there's nothing that you really turn into unless it's Zombieland. And we're leaving the theater, and there's a father with a kid. The kid had to be like 6 years old. Like, must have been the first horror movie. It? Kid's bawling his eyes out.
It wasn't even that bad.
You see, you're scared of the dark when your brother tortures you and shit.
With the zombies.
But I mean, you see the kid bawling his eyes out, and we're like, oh, that was just a bad parenting choice because now you just warped that kid.
Or that kid's going to be the next serial killer.
What movie has warped you the most?
Oh, I don't think they have. I don't know.
You got them tattoos.
Well, just because I love them.
Right.
They haven't really changed me. They didn't make me scared of anything.
So
the Exorcist The Exorcist is the only one that gave me nightmares.
Right.
But no, they didn't scare me.
Can you rank your favorite movies based on what you have on your arm?
Oh, that's tough.
As on like, or not rank, but just tell me if you can do one thing. because we haven't even touched like Stephen King really. But if you can say like where you were and what you did and what made that so memorable that you have to have it on your body.
You know, I'm not trying to, no, that's okay. I can't. I don't think that I don't put these tattoos on my body because they've made an impact on my life or changed anything. Like I've just loved horror movies, and I just think I think the fucking horror genre is super rad.
Right.
And I didn't sort of just be like, I don't have Freddy and Jason on my ribs because like those guys changed my life, or I don't have
right, there was
Chucky because I'm afraid of dolls or anything like that. You know what I mean? I'll tell you one thing though, I'll never tattoo a fucking spider on me.
Okay.
I never do that.
Right.
No, I just don't like it.
Right.
But no, man, I just love being scared.
Yeah.
And these movies, they scared me my whole life, and I love it.
Right. Right.
It's just the fucking dark.
Any surprise movies that you've seen lately that you go, I want that, I need that character in my life, or I would love to see that as a tattoo now?
No, I just
it's hard now.
It's hard now.
Because Annabelle, would you put Annabelle on your body?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another doll.
Why not?
What did you think of it? Like, okay,
loved it.
Did you watch the original with Seth Green and all that?
Seth Green.
It was a TV miniseries when it first came out in the 90s,
No.
like 1990.
No, I did not.
And it was
Seth Green.
Yeah.
No. I thought the original with Tim It.
Yeah. That's the one.
What's
too.
His last name?
I know.
What can I think of?
I know because we're
Brain dead.
Rocky
I
Horror.
want to say Tim Roth, but that's impossible. No,
Rocky Horror.
Tim Burton.
Nope.
No, there's too many Tims.
No.
Way too many Tims.
Everyone's screaming. Legend. I know. Him was the devil. I know. Still screaming. He's right there.
Anyway, I really liked the remakes of it too. I thought it was really well done.
Why do I have a brain fart too? Because I'm usually good on this.
Oh my god.
Anyway, it's cast.
Tim Curry, son of a bitch.
Curry, yeah, of course.
I really loved the original with Tim Curry. I thought it was like weird.
And that's Seth Green's in it. He's a kid. I think that was his first role. Yeah,
in the movie.
Yeah.
I thought you said a TV series.
It was a miniseries on TV originally.
Oh, I thought. Oh, anyway, and then it turned into a movie.
No, it was it was like 2-parter.
Okay.
Starting on Sunday, finished on the Tuesday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it was on TV. It was like The Stand. All those Stephen King movies like in the 90s were TV miniseries. Like The Stand was crazy.
Yeah,
that was a 6-parter, and like it was just nuts.
Pet Sematary, Stephen King. It's fucked up, man.
The original.
Yeah,
dude.
OG.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the new one yet.
How about Maximum Overdrive? The truck. That's the truck that's
following them.
Yeah, but it's designed like Green Goblin.
No, I don't
so good.
think I've seen that.
Write that down.
Maximum.
And it's a little cheesy, but it's fun. The Running Man. You ever seen Running Man?
No. Thin was fucked up too, man. Did you watch Thin?
Thin or Thinner?
Yeah, Thinner.
Yeah, Running Man is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, and it's a horror.
It's based on a future.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Dawson plays like this game show host, so that these guys pitting each other to the death.
Oh shit!
And they have to do all these obstacles against guys that are like just trying to kill them, and like they show behind the scenes, and it's just like to get the ratings. Meanwhile, they like these two guys are trying to survive.
That's like Death Race too. There's like
Death Race.
The original, was good, man.
The original Death Race, way back in the day with Carradine and Stallone. There's that, the Hanna-Barbera cartoon, The Race, the Monster Race, or the
of course.
Is that based on that? Because all the cars are all like crazy futuristic. I think I still have it. Death Race 2000.
I watched the one with
Jason Statham. But if you watch the original, it's crazy, and that's where
motherfucker, man.
You know the whole thing. Like if you run that old lady over, it's 90 points. That's where that comes from.
Oh shit, eh?
Right
from Death Race.
Yeah, from Death Race, and it's so like it's kind of cheesy because it's Roger Corman, but like the cars are just like awesome. And
sweet.
The Great Space Race or whatever that like Hanna-Barbera cartoon was based on that too.
Did that race ever finish?
No. Catch that pigeon, right? Yeah. No, great. And now that Hanna-Barbera has ceased to exist anymore. True. We'll never know who won.
That's true, but they're bringing back Animaniacs.
I heard that.
Yeah, Pinky and the Brain too.
Well, that was part of Animaniacs.
I know, but like they could just not. But there's
Good
a couple
Feathers. I still love Good Feathers.
Oh yeah, those fucking pigeons. And I hate pigeons, but I love those pigeons, man.
The Pesci one.
Look at us. We're talking about horror movies, and now we're talking about the Animaniacs.
Yeah. We'll carry that to the next one, maybe. So when you go to what's grabbing you as a horror movie now? Well, what do you okay?
What's out now? That's
like what? Yeah, what are you expecting? And if someone goes, listen, this movie you got to watch. Like I've given you a list.
I've get a lot of lot of people tell me to watch certain movies, and
what's pleased you the most so far?
Oh man, I don't know. The newest Halloween really pleased me. Even though Danny McBride wrote it, I was shocked because I thought it was gonna be like a comedy. It was really good. Yeah. I mean, there were some funny moments in it. I don't know. I just I've been watching a lot of old stuff lately.
Would you put Aliens on your body?
I liked Aliens. I might not. It's to me it wasn't really a horror movie. It was more of
the first one was.
Yeah, but then the rest of them were more like thriller. To me, like Predator is like thriller, sci-fi thriller.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
But the first one, when in space, no one can hear you scream
with the fucking.
Well, just remember where you just hear the beep, beep, and like they're trying to find it. All of a sudden, the guy opens the vent and it's coming out of the first time. You actually really see the thing. You're like, oh, dude, fuck! And then when she strips down to nothing to get into the airlock and it's right there, you're like,
I know.
Oh, all right.
Robot Chicken did a funny. I don't know if you've seen it.
Okay.
But it did this funny thing thing about Alien where like this one guy like he stabs the alien or whatever, so the alien starts to bleed the acid and like so he dies and then the alien's like bleeding out on the floor and then he's just corroding, he's just falling down floor to floor to floor to floor down. And I'm like, what floor is this fucking alien on? When he's like jumping, he's falling down.
Oh man,
it's really good.
Robot Chicken's great. Did you ever see the pumpkin carving one? We're not now that we're talking about how.
No.
All I'm gonna say, because I don't want to like say the wrong thing and offend people, like I ever do that. Just go Robot Chicken Pumpkin. It's from season 1.
Okay.
Or Pumpkin Carving, and we'll watch it. And it's great. Like it's a little 30 seconds, but like it's probably the funniest one I've seen for just the content of what it is. Yep. And I'll show it to you after this, and I recommend everyone watch it if you can find it. If you're into our type of humor stuff. Again, horror movies for me, like I said, I've given you a list of stuff.
Yeah, but for me, there's a line like there's a like not a word line, but there's a line between a scary horror movie and there's just the perfect amount of gore and all that stuff, and then there's movies where it's just like, okay, this is too much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there's too like
Hostel 4, like
make me scared.
Yeah,
I think implied murder. Implied screaming is just as scary sometimes than seeing the actual act of it.
Yeah, but where I think it was a lot of the 70s.
Like having the serial killer go into a room, shadows, screaming, he comes out full of blood.
Yeah.
I think not seeing the monster in certain aspects is scarier than seeing this thing because then you become adapted to it. I watched Scary Stories Tell in the Dark. You know
yeah. I worked on that.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
it was pretty good, man. I think the kids who were in it acted really well, and you just like you never the whole before you see it is scary.
Yeah,
and then when you see it, you're like, holy shit, that's fucked up. It does its business, and then it's gone.
It's gone.
You know, and you're like,
it's based on a short story of that caliber.
Short story of that exactly. Yeah. I like the idea of not seeing the monster till you see the monster, like little bits of it. Right. Before I don't want it to all be about him.
Right.
I want it to be about. I like being the psychological scare of it more than I want to see it kill somebody.
Right.
Like in It, he psychologically terrifies them, and then does his job.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. There's a book. I mean, I was a huge Guns N' Roses fan growing up in high school, and the video for November Rain. Mm-hmm. It's actually based on a short story of a friend of Axel's, and I have that book.
Okay, cool.
And it's a bunch of horror, like little short stories. Mm-hmm. I have it still. I'll tell you the title of it. I don't have it right now, and I can't get up. But there's one story, and I know that you would love this right up your alley. Okay. It's a businessman. He walks into a tattoo parlor.
Okay.
And he takes off his clothes, and as you can see it, it's like all these demons on his body, and he's getting the last piece finished.
Okay.
And the tattoo artist is kind of like quiet in the movie or in the story. It just doesn't like. It's just him in the room getting a tattoo done. And as it's done, the tattoo artist has realized that he's created the demon that's going to take out the tattoo artist. Oh. So the embodiment of the man walking in is actually a demon that becomes the demon that takes out the tattoo.
Whoa!
Fucking trippy as hell.
He fit by him finishing the tattoo.
Yeah, it was a reflection of all the bad stuff he's done to people.
Whoa!
Isn't that cool?
I did not notice. How did you not pay attention? Like the smallest little piece he's finishing. You're doing a puzzle. Yeah. You're doing a puzzle. Yeah. Like when my tattoo artist, she's finishing. She knows she has it sort of drawn out, and the puzzle pieces are just happening.
Yeah.
How does he not know by the last fucking puzzle piece that it's what he's done?
Yeah, it's so crazy. But
I like the premise of it though. That's for sure.
And again, more of those stories, but there's like no real. They never really turned into things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I read that when I was 16, and I still remember it as like that story.
Totally.
Yeah. Do you find books are more scary when you read them? Like if you read a Stephen King book, like say It, you read it, and then you watch it. Do you think you finally go? Oh.
Well, my imagination's pretty good,
right?
When it comes to that kind of stuff, I still like, you know. I don't know if I've read a horror book.
A horror book before it was a movie, or vice versa.
I'm trying to wonder. I don't know if I've ever read a horror book.
Right.
I don't know. I have to think about it.
Yeah.
But I prefer watching the movie because, again, for me, it's the music.
Yeah.
It's the sounds. It's the creep factor.
I don't know. Sometimes the details can get you too when you read a book. You get lost in the book and you go, oh, fuck, right?
I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I saw on Facebook or something the original Addams Family set.
Yeah. Okay.
And when it was black and white, remember?
Right. Yeah.
But the actual set was like in the pinks. There was pink carpet, really pink weird, wallpaper. Like it was all sorts of. It was all sorts of different colors that were bright and cheerful. Right. But it just looked better in black and white.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine being like a creepy family, but it's all pinks and yellows? And stuff, like, let's say, obviously it's a TV show,
right?
In a movie, but if you were like a creepy gothic family,
right,
and and you invited people over, and they walk into your house expecting to see like doom and gloom,
pastels.
And all this like
live,
dark
love.
They walk,
and
then they come in and it's like pinks and yellows, and
wicker
like,
balls in a bowl.
I think that's scarier, man.
That is scary. Home sense. What the fuck are you gonna die here?
There's 100 pie cones in a bowl. There's potpourri in the bathroom. These people are psychopaths.
Oh man. But again, it might be also too so that the actors have something to play off. They're more sedate as opposed to being the creepy, fucked up people too.
But
right?
How can you be creepy surrounded by pink and yellow?
Now, what do you think of the Munsters? Did you ever watch?
I watched the Munsters. Yeah, I liked it.
Loved it.
It. I love those
creepy,
funny,
little quirky, little macabre type shows.
Yeah. So I was watching The Haunting of Bly Manor recently, right?
Yes.
So I finished it. It was good,
right.
And then I started rewatching The Haunting of Hill House. Way scarier.
Really?
100%. I started watching the first little bit of it.
Right.
I got scared. I did that. And the whole of Bly Manor, I only got scared once.
I'm starting to think what movie I got scared of last, and I can't remember.
I don't know.
Right? It just, again.
I missed. I love the jump, man.
You love the jump.
Love the jump. I love jump scares.
I like the jump with the purpose. And you go, oh my God, that was, The Shining. Yeah. Great example. So like you're going. Man. And it's just a mind fuck. And then you watch the documentary going, oh, it's based on this and this is going on. Like, we'll never know. Kubrick was such a genius, you'll never know what exactly is going on.
Genius or psychopath?
I think he had a little bit of both. I think he had a little bit of both because he started off as a photojournalist in Vietnam or in Korea.
Oh, yeah.
So, he saw the shit. He was taking trench warfare. He was dodging bullets as he was seeing people in their last breaths.
That's scary on its own.
Right? So then, of course, that eats into your psyche.
Yeah. Zombie movies.
Okay.
Have you seen Train to Busan?
No, you told me to watch that one.
Watch that, dude. Okay. One of the best zombie movies.
See, again...
Koreans know how to make...
What about 28 Days Later?
It was good.
I hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the idea that it wasn't a slow zombie. It was more, and they weren't really. I don't even think they were zombies. They were just
right.
I don't know. Let's call it a diseased.
Children of Men, is that a horror movie?
No.
That movie's fucked.
Yeah, but it's Clive Owen, right?
That the post-apocalyptic.
Right.
Like,
I don't think that was a horror movie. No.
You don't think that's a plausible reality?
A plausible reality, but more of like a weird drama
sci-fi type thing. Okay.
Sci-fi drama thriller.
World War Z, I've never watched.
That's pretty good. Brad Pitt's actually pretty good in it.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie.
I liked Warm Bodies. Funny
Me too.
enough.
Me too.
I thought that was a little,
but it wasn't
cute,
a scary movie.
No,
it was
quirky.
it was a rom-com zombie. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it had a good premise. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was different.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think now too. There's like,
I just watched another Korean zombie movie. God damn it! It's on Netflix, I think.
Versus. I have Versus or had Versus.
Yeah,
and it was a zombie vampire. Something else genre movie, and it just started with this cool guy in a trench coat with a shotgun and a samurai sword. Like, I'm gonna watch this, and it was kind of weird because, again, you don't know if the translation's actually right in the dub, But yeah, it was entertaining.
Speaking of dub, there's this one stunt guy on my show.
Right.
He's from I think he's Belarus. I think he's from.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And he said that growing up as a kid,
right.
He watching movies, he had no idea Arnold Schwarzenegger had an accent because every movie was dubbed.
If you want, the very first Schwarzenegger movie that ever came out was called Hercules Goes Bananas.
What?
If you can find it, find it.
I'm not.
Write it down.
I'll write it down.
And
I'm gonna write it down here because it's clearly not a horror.
It's not a horror movie, and it's just really weird because it was just to show off his body. And I think it was a Roger Corman movie, and totally dubbed, no accent, and you're like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And especially if you watch all the other movies before.
Sure.
I think Terminator was the only one that they actually didn't dub, and
because he said like 3 words.
But the producers originally wanted that dub too, because they're like, no one's going to understand that killer German robot. No, and then and Jim,
he's Austrian. Damn it.
James Cameron goes, no, we're keeping that.
Yeah,
and because even like Conan, it was more plausible because he was like playing a barbarian.
Sure,
and that's a comedy too.
Dude,
like,
one of the best movies was Twins. Okay, just fucking giant Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. Fucking so good, man. You know what? I'm gonna fucking add that to my list. I know it's not
Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
When he had the whole
who is your father
stuff,
and what? Oh no, who is your daddy and what does he do? And then the kid is like, boys have. Oh no, what did he say?
Girls have penises.
Boys have penises. Girls have vaginas.
Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, thanks for the tip. All right, let's get the HE double hockey sticks out of here.
Okay. Special Halloween
episode. 30 on 30. It's 30 episodes, man.
I know.
We've done
crazy. Look at us.
This is a whole Halloween episode. Look at us. Look at us schmucks. Yeah, this is our last episode before Halloween.
Yeah.
Fun.
Shitty, depressing the fact that we can't celebrate.
I'm gonna just throw candy at kids.
Would you have had a costume? Would you have done like the Joe Exotic? Would you have done? Like,
oh yeah, I would have done something this year. It's on a Saturday, man. We could have been out somewhere doing something. There's nothing to do. I didn't plan a costume. I didn't even think about it. I just watched scary movies this year.
There might not be a Christmas now either.
Hey, listen. Who gives a shit? Okay.
I know. As long as we make it all alive.
Listen, Christmas isn't about what do you can't go to your family and eat dinner? Of course you can.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, anyway. All right, let's do a recap.
Yes.
We taled about Halloween. We talked about scary movies this entire episode. We talked about movies and scary movies.
What we do.
what we do. We work in film. I've never worked on a horror movie. It pisses me off. One day I will. You know what? They're filming a fucking Chucky series. Anyway.
Yeah.
And I can't work on it. Anyway.
Too.
Yeah, I don't really care about that one.
Okay.
It's a weird premise.
Okay.
It's like after. It's not. It has nothing to do with during.
Hannibal,
it's a whole other thing.
Right.
It's just like I think it's another Hannibal, but with a girl instead of a dude. I think that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
I think
that's dumb.
It could be good, but it's just not the same.
Bring back the fucking Hannibal. Those guys wanted to come back.
It's too late.
I know. Sucks.
It's over.
Shitty.
It's gone and done. All right. You can find us on our social medias at Grunts and Grumbles Official. Is our Instagram, our Facebook. Yes. Grunts and Grumble Podcast is our YouTube page, which you're probably watching it. And our website is GruntsNGrumbles.com. So check it out. If you guys ever want to send us a message, you want something that we can talk about.
You have any movie reviews for us, or any choices that we need to watch, or that we missed, or that we've totally butchered?
Yeah, hit us up. Send us a message. Send us an email. Send us a DM on any of those things.
We're here.
Even if you want to send us a dick pic, we don't care.
It's
okay, because Tom looks at it.
Tom
looks at it. So
I'm in charge of the social.
Fuck. You can find me at Zomvini.
And I'm TG Wheelman.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
And to all,
stay
safe and healthy.
Fright.